one of the first questions I thought to myself to, you know, have is what was my initial reaction when I found out that Wheaton was closing the campus. I was in shock. I value education a lot. To have it sort of stripped like away from yourself and you can't really do anything about it. No one can really do anything about it. That's why social distancing is very important. I realized that I really enjoy the face to face interactions. So like this right here is really hard for me being an extrovert, like just talking to a camera. You know, I tell my professor all the time, like I'm thankful for them trying to give us the best education possible in this weird time that we're in. And I can say nothing but be grateful for it. So I'm still currently getting paid, which I'm fortunate in, where I know that highest unemployment rate because of this virus now. And it's really bad. And I'm just fortunate enough that like I'm still quote unquote employed because I'm still getting paid through the school. When that is over, I'm not gonna have a job until they decide to open up the state of Connecticut again. I like to be an optimist. My family's all healthy, so I'm glad for that. Today's the first day of the Muslim religious holiday, Ramadan. And I am Muslim, so, you know, I guess in a way, being self quarantined and fasting sort of adds on a different layer. It's almost like a mental game that you're playing with yourself. Because you're fasting, you made that commitment to God and everything, but then now you have to make the commitment to the doctors and everybody else around the world that you won't go out to spread this disease to lower the curve. I think this is a good time to give you like a little update of how I'm feeling with like just like the fasting and everything like that during quarantine. So when I fast, sometimes I get like sort of like cramps in a way, like when you're hungry and like your stomach's empty and like it growls and stuff. That's what happens. Kind of sucks. It hurts a little bit because it's like, oh, can't have anything. And then my second thought is like, oh, I want to have something. I want to have something, but gotta stay focused.
I think it's very boring.
Why?
Very boring because you can't do it. I can't go anywhere or do anything.
It's
It's boring just sitting around and doing nothing. Like, yeah, I have my homework and stuff, but once you do all your homework, then what do I do? I just sit here.
He plays Fortnite and he keeps me up too. Sometimes you do, which is I will say is annoying that like of what you do.
You don't. I don't. Usually you're in bed before me, so I can see that. But you're annoying is when that sharing the bathroom. You're gone. It's like all me. This whole house is mine. This whole
like,
top floor is mine.
But now I'm here. It's like
Yeah.
you have to share it now.
Yeah.
Like, what do you like about quarantine though? Like what's
I think it gives like a time to like. You have a lot of time on your hands, so like I'd say. You have a lot of time to like figure things out, and like if you really wanted to do something and get good at it, you could do it. Well, I would say annoying with myself is like me going to bed late and not being able to waking up midday.
honestly what's really annoying is that sometimes like when I want you to do something and like you're still sleeping and it's annoying because I want to like talk to you and stuff like that or like want to hang out with you and then you're still sleeping because you stay up until like 5 8. This kid, my
6
brother,
a.m.
6 a.m. playing
Later.
Fortnite.
Well, it's really fun. We went to go pack up your stuff from your school.
Yeah, that's
we were out
right.
From like 1 to we didn't get home till like 8.
That's right. Just went and then that was like the first like big
That was like the biggest like time.
that we spent most together in the car. Like that was our
Just
our
you and
first
I, no, like
yeah,
just you and me.
just us two. Like that was our first road trip. We were chilling. We were chilling in the car. We were like listening to music and stuff.
There's never any food.
Dude, I swear to God, but
Okay, maybe the Oreos. I destroyed those.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The night is young. It's only 10:44. The night is young. We're just getting started.
How would you compare being on an island and being home?
Do much. Can't really go anywhere. That's like my island. House, field.
You feel like you're more isolated.
I do feel isolated though. It's different. This is weird. I do go to schedule, so like figuring it out.
Well, you should try making a schedule for yourself. Have you ever thought of that? Or no, is that too much?
It's not needed right now.
Why do you think it's not needed?
because I can't do anything. Can't really go anywhere. I'm not obligated to do anything outside the house.
For the past 2 days, I've realized a couple of things about myself. One, I actually really do enjoy vlogging. I sort of my personal background of like acting and theater. Me just like having to deal with like my brother, how I said before, like we're all sharing the same space. My brother's my new roommate. He's my brother, so I want to hang out with him, but we get annoyed with each other. My experience with quarantine is different from others, and I didn't write this in my paper at the time because the event didn't happen, but I'm going through Ramadan right now with my family. We have to stay home now. We don't have the choice to go outside as much anymore. So or if we do go outside, it's very limited and it's for a short amount of time. So the day doesn't seem like it's going by quick enough. Because I was home, I'm like, well, this is a different kind of setting for me. I'm still at school, but I'm home, so I should do it. I have that moral obligation to do it. So I guess that's different that most people don't go through on a day-to-day basis. And that's sort of the hardest part with being self-quarantine in isolation.
And I just want to reiterate that probably the hardest part about Ramadan fasting during quarantine is the temptation. Because how I said previously, that usually we would have the option to go out so we can have the time go by faster and we don't have to think about fasting as much or as if we're hungry or we're thirsty. But because we have to stay quarantined at home and we can't really go anywhere, it makes everything harder. And if we go out, it's a short duration. So I believe it's the temptation that makes it difficult, along with making the promise to everybody, healthcare providers, elected officials, that we would do everything in our powers to stay home. But sometimes it can be hard because you have all these temptations on your shoulders. And to try to find some sort of